before it is our turn. It's time for extinction. What will we learn? Go as far as shade extends before we begin to burn. Before we begin to burn. Before we begin to burn. The ocean has sprung a leak. Now the planet is sinking. No future generations to ask what we were thinking. We are forced to add rules. People can't self-regulate. Though the time is now, in their minds it's never too late. Ocean waves of fire rip her into flame. We set the blaze while we place the blame. We only have one planet, yeah, we destroy the same. We begin to burn. We can only kill so much before it is our turn.